Hello.
Hello.
We're recording this the morning after Michigan won the national championship, so we're gonna
Oh,
have to
I'm not even used to doing
take a
that.
moment to say "Go
Right.
Blue."
It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. Okay, now it's out of my system.
Okay, we're all
Hardly.
done.
Well, thank you for entertaining that.
Yeah, and we were having our pre-chat like we always do, and Casey almost started talking about our topic today, but I wanted to
Right.
keep it. I always think of Regis and Kelly, this is like dating me. Regis and Kelly wouldn't talk to each other before. I think I've said this before. They
Right.
wouldn't say hello or anything in the morning before they started recording the
Yeah.
show, so that it was like fresh and interesting, and they actually were hearing about stuff
Right.
for the first time.
Reacting in real time.
Yeah,
So
that's what we're doing. We're
we
gonna
we don't
Regis and
have the
Kelly it.
we don't have the social capabilities to ignore each other before hitting record. We always have to do a little catch up, which is a highlight of my week.
Yes.
But you did save maybe the best for the recording.
Yes.
So what I was thinking about a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the improvements, the strides that AI is making in certain aspects of influencer campaign management, specifically finding, discovering influencers and creators, making it a lot faster and a higher volume of. Well, let me just pause there and say that's one place we talked about it. And I know over the last 6 to 12 months, we've had various discussions coming at this from different angles. Where is, and kind of poo-pooing, I think, AI. Like, oh, you know, I don't know that we've been fully on board with the AI wagon. And so I thought today it would be good to talk less sort of off the cuff and more like, let's look at a full campaign and talk
Yeah.
about where AI is excelling, where it still misses the mark, where there's opportunity. And I have 4 different pieces of a campaign listed out here to touch on. But well, let's start with that first one. So finding influencers, discovery. I know a couple weeks ago you were like, "Ooh, the game has changed."
Yes.
I mean, that's not going to go away. So that's something you guys are all in on.
Yeah. We've actually, I mean, I think what's interesting, and I guess I won't mince words, some of the legacy platforms I think are behind the times on this. So I've been very public that we work with Creator IQ. We have been a customer of them since 2018. So that's a long time. That is a lot
And
of
you get no
money.
affiliate fees for that, right? For
No.
saying that.
No, I do think I should get a discount for as many times as I've
Right.
shouted them out. There are so many things that are so great about that platform, and we are really ultimately still very pleased to be using it. That said, I think because they have become such a behemoth and are so big and just I don't, at a certain point when you're big, there's just bureaucracy kind of layered into what you do. And AI is moving at a speed that is very hard for larger kind of just
Enterprise
established
platforms.
enterprise platforms to keep
Yeah.
up with.
Okay.
And so what we were doing last year, at the end of last year, was working with my friend Bora, who's really brilliant at coding AI stuff, and he was helping us to do some AI discovery of influencers when we needed to find people outside of our own network for complicated, really specific campaigns. Like I always give this example: every year we have to find school employees in Washington State to talk about health insurance. That is hard. It's hard to keep finding new ones. So he was jumping in and helping us with some of that. It was expensive, and it was an investment outside of all the money that we already paid to Creator IQ.
And it was at scale too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was big.
Yeah, we were getting
numbers
like
of,
500, 1,000 influencers at a time
Okay.
who all had email addresses so that we could send kind of a bulk outreach saying like, we think you might be a fit for this campaign. Respond back if you want to learn more.
Right.
What we've been doing this year is I discovered that Modash has really great both AI and then regular discovery. And our team has found it very, very helpful to supplement the hand outreach that we do, the discovery that we do within Creator IQ, which does have AI, but it's clunkier. It doesn't work as well.
Okay.
But it takes me, I can go into their system and it takes me maybe 20 seconds to find, like last week, I wanted to find people in the Detroit area, lifestyle influencers between 10,000 and 100,000 followers who lived in the Detroit area and sometimes talked about finance. And I got a list of 1,420 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So the word that's doing a lot of lifting there is supplementing.
Yeah.
So still it's this patchwork of different options.
Listen, you can get 1,000 people. Oh, and you can check off that they have to have an email address, which
Right.
gets you out of the DMs. But
Yeah.
I mean, you can get 1,000 and 10 could respond, 100 could respond. They still might not be a
Right.
great fit. AI doesn't get everything right. So you can say they need to be in Detroit, but it could be that they just visited.
Right.
And
You
so
can
they
approach
mentioned
30-year-old women about menopausal products and really
done that.
burn bridges. Right.
Right. So it's not perfect, but it helps when you're doing. I also love it for lookalike searching. So we have a client that we're working with, and she sent over these 2 influencers, and she said, these 2 influencers are just exactly the vibe I'm going for. Now, this is a client with locations only in, I think it's like 20 states within the country. And so I was able to go in and say, I want lookalikes to these 2 who are in these states with
emails
between this many and this many followers with
Yeah.
emails. And again, I got over 1,000 in seconds.
Okay. The place that I'm hearing and that we've also experienced, so we have been looking for recently food creators in Minnesota. And what I thought was so interesting is in that search, Minnesota has gone through some really rancorous political climate changes, scenarios, whatever you want to say, in the last 6 months. And so folks who 6 months ago would have fit the target now have political content sprinkled
That's
in.
a whole
with their-
other. We should kind of parking lot that conversation for next week, because that's
Right.
an issue now.
the politics.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
one, suddenly having political content when you never did before, and 2, is it actually political to not say anything at all if you like, let's say, live in Minneapolis?
Right. So so
But we're going to
parking
lot
that,
that.
but all of a sudden it made them non-candidates for this particular campaign. And I wonder how much AI can help with that. You know, like the drill down of, something just came up.
I've had limited success. I think it's not as good at stories, which is always an issue with the political stuff.
Okay, yes.
And I think it's also it works better for I want this, this, and this versus I don't want this.
Yeah, sort of
I
the
don't want that.
typical, right, the typical,
Yeah.
if you Google no football, you'll get nothing back but football. So you
Yeah,
can't
it's
say
tricky.
exclude, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we find there's still a lot of hand.
It does not replace
That hand
looking,
is
right?
the wrong word,
Review,
but like there's still a
manual
lot
review.
of vetting. Yeah.
So the next piece, big bucket that I want to talk about is the outreach, negotiation, maybe even onboarding. Do we trust AI with these types of communications?
We have not. We don't.
And is that an intentional shunning of, because I'm certainly being sold it a lot in my inbox.
I mean, I think this is an AI. I think if you're getting a lot of the same questions over and over again, do I think there's room for a template? Yes. Do I consider that AI? Not really. I consider that just like smart
streamlining processes.
processes.
Yeah. If this, then that.
Right. But I
the
don't.
whole.
I think if someone, like I said, the percentage of people who will respond back to an email anyway is so small. I think it's almost disrespectful to, if they are
to then
if they
funnel
take the
them.
time out of their day to respond and are interested, I would like to give them the respect of being responded to back by an actual human and not a robot.
Well, we are very high touch like that. So it becomes central to our culture at Maverick Mindshare for it to be high touch. So that's why we wouldn't, it's not about the ease or the even effectiveness of it. It's about that one-on-one. And eventually I can see the situation where we have nothing but AI agents talking to each other and creating the content and
there are whole-
liking the content. Like the whole ecosystem could be
There are
just this
whole
AI mess.
influencer agencies now that are saying that they're run that way, which is crazy.
We had I've told the story before about having a program going when an influencer on our campaign, her husband passed away, and of course that's a very acute example of why we would want eyes on and human interaction there. But even more recently, we've had this very sensitive campaign build where, including one influencer from a talent management roster, relied on another influencer not on their roster showing up, without divulging too much and blowing anonymity here. It was sensitive, and there's the time it would have taken to train an AI agent on how to handle the human. Like, I just picked up the phone and I called the management people and I said, here's the deal, and I want to be really transparent about what's going on and very sensitive to your talent. And so I'm letting you know, but why don't we work together to, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to give that up. And I don't feel that AI is in a place yet to handle those types of situations well.
No. Can we jump back? Because there's actually an area that we love using AI for, that comes before these two things.
Oh, yes.
That you mentioned for us. So we start every campaign with a strategic brief. We have a template for this, and it's kind of like the blueprint for the whole campaign. So here are the goals. Here is what we're recruiting against. Here's the timeline. Here are the key messages. Here are some content prompts. Da, 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 da. We have this whole template. It's pretty extensive. We are very good at filling it out, but we sometimes have clients who will send us like 6 or 7 disparate documents for us to distill into that. So it could be like a
30
PDF.
pages each.
Right. It could be a PDF with all of their target persona, like their client customer personas. And then maybe it's like an overview of the creative campaign that this influencer program is kind of married to.
Yeah.
And then maybe it's like their own strategic brief that they wrote up. And sometimes they'll send us they worked with a previous agency and they kind of liked the creator brief that came with it. Like, they just dump all this stuff.
Yeah.
And
Content.
to be clear, we encourage it. We're like, just send us all the things. We will sort it out.
Right.
And last year and the year before, like, that would have involved like one of our employees like literally sitting there and sorting it out and finding the thing and taking it and pasting it. Now we can say, here's the strategic brief. We actually have like an agent that I built for this, where it says, hi, I'm building a strategic brief. You have the template. Yeah. Here's everything the client sent us. Here's our notes from the kickoff call. Here's our notes from the sales call. Here's the proposal. Here's everything. Can you take an initial stab at this? And I have to say, the amount of time saved by just having to edit it versus going through and doing all that sorting, that's been very, very, very helpful to us.
And is there still a manual review, obviously, of
Sure, because you want to make sure stuff didn't get missed or...
Okay, but pause. How do you know if stuff got missed or not, if somebody's not reviewing all the assets that came?
Oh, we're reviewing it. We're looking at all of it. We're just not having to go through and copy something from here and paste it from here and then retype it because it's a PDF and for some reason the copy and paste doesn't work. Like,
I see. Yep.
Right? Like there's just still a
almost
lot
literally the layout of it that's taken care of. Interesting.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this then. The side issue here, or the problem before the problem, is the client. You just said it's not a problem, but it can be when they come with a brief already ready and it's 10 pages for the creator.
Right.
How does AI factor into that? I don't think it does, but I'm open to hearing that.
Well, we
somehow.
so our process is that after the strategic brief is signed off on, we move into recruitment and we move into doing the creator brief. Again, we have a template. We have a Google Doc template that gets populated with everything and client approved.
Right.
We are very specific about like the amount of information that can go in there and keeping it concise. And so the AI agent that we built for that is also kind of versed.
So you're
in that.
building it. I'm saying if it comes to you, does it ever come to you and you're like,
oh, we would never no, we put it in our own format because that, and that our own format is not even that Google Doc. Like we have a visual format that lives online that's easy to look at and like go through and it's not too many pages and it's not a PDF and it's not a PowerPoint and it's not weirdly personalized for each creator like the one I got sent a couple of weeks ago. Like it's we have our own format, so it's still our job to kind of distill all of that down.
And I think this is where AI can go horribly wrong, in the wrong hands, is being used without this subtext of expertise that you're adding to it, which is we know what the visuals need to be. We know what creators need to empower them rather than smother them, rather than ending up with asking for too much. And now you've got nothing but a straight up ad spoken to the camera because you've over scripted it. And so that's just like me flagging that doing what you do works because you're marrying your human expertise to the tool.
This is an agent built on 15 years. It's an agent to facilitate us doing it the way we have determined that we want to do it, and that is the right way to do it for us. It's not us saying like, hey, we need to hey AI, like your job is to brief a creator. Tell me, like I don't trust that. No, what I'm saying is like your job is to be my secretary and you're going to put it into this short format and like here's everything that you're distilling into it.
Right. But the human piece being so vital there, your human experience.
Yeah.
What about negotiation? I mean, we talked about not communication in terms of the email and the respect for the human on the other side. On the one hand, I want to tell myself that negotiation can be a very tricky spot, take up time, bandwidth, because it's emotionally laden for not us necessarily, because we know how to do it, and probably not you, but the brands or the agencies who are new to it or thinking so much is riding on this. How do we not piss off the creator or their talent and burn bridges?
We don't use AI for that. I think if someone is feeling nervous about any of where I can see AI being helpful with that is saying to AI, like, I feel bad. Like I have to tell this person no, or I have to tell this person I can only pay 1/5 of what they want. And I feel bad. Yeah. Can you help me draft it? And because sometimes those emails are just really hard to write. Right. So I could see that being helpful, but I would not turn over negotiation to AI.
So so crafting the rejection letter, the decline letter, or maybe even the reasoning behind the negotiated price or the offered,
or sometimes that. Like I always joke lately, my AI seems to like really be upset with my imposter syndrome. And it'll sometimes say like, you are a businesswoman. It is okay to only have a certain budget. It is not your job to feel bad about that. Like you can be kind without right. kind of hedging.
Clarity is kindness. And that's great. That's good feedback. I have found the same thing as a side note, that when I have asked my AI agent to help me write a strongly worded email, and I give the context behind it. Here's what went wrong. Here's why I'm feeling the need to set boundaries or whatever. And here's my draft. It will give me something that then puts it back to me to go, okay, Casey, did you really want to be strong? Like it doesn't even ask me that. It's just like, I trust that you wanted this. Here it is. And then I get to say like, yeah, I did want that. I do want to
Yeah.
be like, it's a coaching, forcing function there, which I didn't expect, but it sounds like you're getting the same thing out of it. So, so no for negotiation. The next big chunk to me, just to cover off on all of them, is the monitoring management piece. And I do think that I know that there are platforms and services, AI based options for tracking, is disclosure part of it? Are all the watch outs avoided, the politics, the religion, the bad language, the over sexualized content, all of that. I don't know the pricing on those. I feel like they might be expensive at this moment.
Yeah.
And as with every decision that we make about using AI, is the cost versus the time sunk worth it? Is the cost versus the confidence that your content is, above board? Or does it still require a human touch? And so those things get negated as far as the cost versus the offset.
We're not comfortable delegating that out. I mean, the content our influencers create goes through a few rounds of that. A draft gets uploaded to our system. That's reviewed by our team. Then it's reviewed by the client. Then it goes back to the influencer. Then our team checks it again before it actually goes live, and then checks it again after it goes live to make sure that everything actually
copacetic
was fixed.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, it's not that hands-on work is not impact, like, we budget for it. We think it's important. I guess if you're trying to do influencer marketing on a budget, that could be an area where you could eliminate some fee. If you are okay.
I was thinking that this conversation is a great conversation for AI minds and innovators and tech savvy folks to listen to around where are still the gaps. And you just identified several touch points that I think in the right ears sound like that's a place to streamline with AI. That's a place to remove the human
but like
interaction.
think about it. Like, I do Duolingo every day. And I'm like semi-fluent in French, and I do it every morning to like just stay on top of it.
Yeah.
And I lived in Paris for a few months. My accent's okay. Mm-hmm. Do not sound like a French person, but like I sound okay. And Duolingo has this new exercise called flashcards that is like the bane of everyone's existence. If you go on Reddit, everyone is bitching about the flashcards. They show you a word and you have to say it out loud. And I am saying it like this morning, it was the word tube, which is the same in French as it is in English, tube. Like, it's just tube. And like, no matter what I do, Duolingo thinks that when I say tube, I am not saying tube, and I say tube, and it says wrong, tube. And I'm like, tube. And we go through this every morning, and it keeps showing me the word tube every day because it's like, this dumbass can't say tube. I'm going to just keep showing it to her.
Why can't she get this?
And like, that's AI, and it's not hearing me correctly. And so I don't know how you would, like, a lot when we're doing QA and we're checking through, like, I can't tell you how many conversations we have with clients where they're like, it sounds like she's saying the product name weird, and we're like, no, she's from the South, like, that's her accent. Like, there's just nuance to everything. Or AI thinks you're saying it wrong, tube, when you're not. Or like,
and we've all had the experience of our AI telling us something and we say, no, that's not right. And it like, or don't use the M dash, please. And it'll say, you're right, M dash, my bad. You're like, oh my God, you're still doing it. So it's still hallucinating enough, or it's still nuanced enough.
I don't want something like that after our QA. So our QA goes through it, like I said, and then it goes to the client. I don't want to send something to the client that a human on my team has not reviewed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not comfortable with that.
Okay.
And then taking all of that feedback and getting it back to the influencer. Like they already put a lot of work, they did a video concept, they drafted a video, they wrote a caption, and now we have some changes that have to be made before it goes live. Like that's their work product.
Yeah.
We have to be kind and clear in how we get the feedback over to them. Like,
Yes,
because it
and-
is like, you could be insulting, like saying like, you said this wrong. Like, no, I'm from Georgia. I didn't say it wrong. Like that's
Hayum has 2 syllables in
Right.
Georgia. Right. But I'm so with you, and I see the rise of a cultural phenomena inside of the influencer industry of, yes, please, we do want to automate everything. We want it to be a media buy. We want to strip out, the goal isn't to strip out the humanity. The goal is to scale it, monetize it, make it rinse, repeat, iterative.
And I think that is so amazing for some clients. And I think the clients who find their way to me and to you are not those clients who want that.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think they want ham pronounced with 1 syllable, and they want,
Right.
you know,
Right. It's very programmatic, for lack of a better word.
and there's stuff, you know, they want like, wow, the counter behind that woman looks really, really messy. Would she mind reshooting it with the counter cleared off? Or like, okay, she's walking around a class. Like, can she walk around her classroom more and show us more instead of just standing still? Like, there's a lot of nuancy stuff that goes into it.
A couple of weeks ago, I believe you said you also like part of the review process early to take place so you can head off content being made, right? Like videos being made before folks have the full...
Yeah, we do like we do a video concept before the video gets
so that
made.
there's not this investment of
Well,
time and
that, and
resources.
like we had a client a year or two ago, and the influencer said, I'm going to shoot this in my bathroom. I'm going to be standing in my bathroom, getting ready and talk about this thing. And then the client said, great. And then she went ahead and made it. And then the client said, I really hate that she's in the bathroom. And we said, we are so sorry. That is what you approved. And if you want her to redo it, we can pay her more to redo it. That's totally fine, but we can't change it after you already approved it. So some of it is just keeping everyone honest.
Yeah, that's a great point. So reporting, that seems like a no-brainer. AI should be able to help with that. And yet I found a bunch of reasons why it's not a perfect system yet. Like some of these platforms aren't even offering API access. Like it's that whole dynamic of
we still need
influencers
content.
to
And we use, I don't know, sometimes it's hard to know what is technically AI and what isn't. Like we do have data, pulled in automatically from the platform
I guess I'm
APIs.
thinking more like analysis of the data.
Yeah, we don't. We do our initial analysis first. We will sometimes use AI to help finesse the wording of it to just make it sound a little bit more interesting, because sometimes the smartest person at figuring out why this happened is not the best person to write it. Or I don't know. It's nice to not be repetitive.
And you're talking too there about another note that I put down is the qualitative insights, not the quantitative, like the numbers.
Yeah, the quantitative insights we're grabbing in, we're pulling. Sometimes we use AI to, like, if we have an outside agency doing the paid amplification and we're doing the organic, but we want to show both of them together. Like, I think there's a world in which AI can help.
Again, with that layout piece,
with
almost.
with the layout, with the formulas, with the just making sure everything makes sense from like a numbers perspective. But the qualitative is, I mean, that's coming from our smart people looking at it and saying like, okay, why did this piece of content go viral?
Yeah. And that was the note that I put, is that AI can only tell us what's happened in the context of what's already happened.
Yeah.
It can't read, like if there's no precedent for it, it's going to try to make something up. And my thought is, in February of 2020, Instacart or online grocery store shopping was predicted to grow, at some rate. And then in April of 2020, it had already exceeded the 5-year prediction because, and I don't know if you had asked AI what happened, it probably would not have a context to marry that against. It might have
it's like I
hallucinated
saw
something.
someone on LinkedIn said they asked AI to do their bracket, who was going to win the national.
Oh,
I mean, if AI was smart, they would have known it was Michigan
of
all
course,
along.
see?
But they asked, and I think they said Michigan, but they were like naming players that left the team 2 years ago.
Right.
Like it was just, it doesn't like time.
Transfer portal just really screwed with AI
Yeah.
as well as the rest of our brackets. But yes, right, there are pieces that are pulled in. And here's the bottom line for all of this in my mind. AI is still at the level of an intern that you really need to train so carefully. And so there are some things where that's going to be an easier lift on an internal team or a person, and some where it's like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to do this myself, or we're going to do this ourselves, or we have the systems in place because it's not there yet. But I think that intern metaphor still
It feels
holds.
very much like an intern.
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
Like
Helpful.
it can be incredibly helpful, but it takes a lot of work to manage.
And you have to be very clear about what you want and
Yep.
what the outcome is, because otherwise you'll get, a tuna fish salad recipe that has tires in it or something. Well, this was good. Thanks for
This was
going along
fun.
with me on the AI
Thanks
conversation.
for coming up with the topic.
Yeah, and one last go blue to sign us off.
Go blue.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.